Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Mulan 2, the direct-to-video sequel to the original. This is from 2004. I think they put out a bunch. I think, wasn't the Pocahontas sequel from a couple days ago also from 2004, I think? Must have been a thirsty time for Disney to be putting out sequels to their animated epics. Um, hmm. This one, by the way, has a number of the original actors coming back to it. Just a second. It's an hour and 22 minutes. It's from 2005, even though this says 2004. IMDb is telling me 2004, so I'm not sure which is which, but we'll go with what Disney says, 2005. So I was wrong at the beginning. So 2005, this brings back a number of the cast members, including Ming-Na, the original voice of Mulan, and you probably also know her as from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Melinda May, and yeah, she's done a bunch of other things since then, but this is a very strong Asian cast. It's got B.D. Wong as Shang again. We have an appearance of Lucy Liu, Sandra Oh, and let me see, okay, I don't know if she's Asian, but Lauren Tom plays one of the three princesses. Those are the three princesses that appear in this sweeping tale that follows up soon after the events of the original Mulan. By the way, just so you're fully aware, if you didn't already know, but the original Mulan and, of course, the sequel did not end the way in real life. Mulan is actually based on a real person. It did not end with the happy way that the original animated movie ended, and it certainly wouldn't have led to this. So it's a very, look at history and you'll see a very different story. But if you want to see something about, female empowerment and overcoming the odds and showing your strength against impossible odds, Mulan's your movie. They made a new one and they still can't release it because of pandemic, but it should appear someday, either in theaters if they ever open up again or on Disney Plus. But I don't think they want to do that. They want theater bucks, so not subscription bucks. Not that neither is a bad thing. Anyway, in this story, we get Mulan. Just basically is the hero to all the little girls in her village, and her parents, well, her grandmother and father are taking bets on when Shang will propose to her, so they can get married. And everybody's like, okay, Mulan and Shang, they're getting married. Come on. So yeah, they're placing bets on what time of the day, down to the time of the day, as to when he's gonna propose. And of course, the movie pretty much starts out with that. Oh, actually, it doesn't start out with that. It starts out with looking in on Mushu, the dragon, her sidekick, and he pretty much has the total control of the over the ancestors, which seems kind of really super disrespectful, but what do I know? He's a dragon, and he bosses around all the ancient ancestors, one of which is voiced by George Takei from Star Trek, Mr. Sulu. And there's a ton of other voices throughout it. Pat Morita shows up at one point. Harvey Fierstein plays one of the soldiers that Shang hires for this special mission that I'll talk to you about in a bit. Yeah, so there's so many different voices. But by the way, Mushu is not Eddie Murphy this time. He's played by a guy named Mark Mosley. He's a white guy who does actually a pretty decent job of being Eddie Murphy as Mushu. Now, yeah, it's a pretty solid impression. At first, you can hear the difference. At first, you're like, yeah, okay, that's not Eddie Murphy. I'm pretty sure that's not Eddie Murphy. You know what? Eddie Murphy would have done it slightly different. You can hear it. And then, by the end of the film, you don't care. Because he's taken over the role, in a sense. And it's very Eddie Murphy. But you don't mind the difference. Maybe he just got better as he went along, as he was recording this. So you never know. Either way, you don't mind that it's not Eddie Murphy after a while. Maybe you care too much. I don't know. Maybe need to let that go. I don't know. But yeah. So I think I named all the actors I'm going to name. I think I'm not sure. No, maybe no. Lauren Tom, Pat Morita, yeah. Okay, so yeah, there's a ton of people coming back, and there's a bunch of new ones. But anyway, the movie starts out with basically Mushu ticking off all the ancestors, and they're really sick of him bossing them around because he's sort of like the intermediary because Mulan's family is highly honored or something because she did such a great thing, and he has this cushy job basically to have every need taken care of, and he really likes that. You think this is not important? It's super important to the story. You'd figure it's just being played for laughs. It's not. Because believe it or not, Mushu is the villain of this movie. Yeah. Mushu is the sidekick. This princess sidekick is the villain of the sequel. Not in the traditional sense. Not, "Muhahaha, I'm going to get you, my pretty." It's not that kind of thing. Believe it or not, we go through the entire movie, for the most part, without any villain interaction whatsoever. No traditional villain interaction. There's a fight scene with the Mongols along the way, but that lasts all of 5 minutes. Beyond that, everything is an internal struggle between what Mulan wants and what Mushu wants. And the thing is, Mulan doesn't even know it. So I'm going to tell you right now, this is actually a whole lot better than I expected it to be. You might have thought that, oh, he doesn't like the sequels, the direct-to-video sequels, like he crapped all over Pocahontas. And I did. And very often these direct-to-video sequels suck. And yeah, no, this is not up to the level of the original. It's not classic by any means. And it's very predictable when it comes to certain character relationships. It's predictable that certain things are going to happen between certain characters, despite what it seemed like in the beginning. When I tell you this basic setup, you'll understand what I mean. Again, I'm not going to spoil the whole thing because I think this is actually, there's a few neat little surprises that come throughout this, but this is the story. Mulan and Shang been given an order from on high from like most powerful dude to transport his 3 daughters to a faraway kingdom for them to be married to a bunch of dudes they've never met. So you can imagine how well that goes over with Mulan. Shang's given the job, and he's been asked to bring along Mulan and 3 of his best warriors. I can't remember, were these guys in the last movie? But I'm pretty sure they were. But these 3 warriors are all kind of goofy and doofy. Again, it's been a while. It's been since the 90s since I've seen the original Mulan. I'm pretty sure I only saw it in theaters in 1998 when it came out. Haven't seen it since. So a bunch of it's been erased from my head. So I don't remember if these guys were a big thing. I remember a trio, but there's a very sensitive nature to that trio in the first movie. Anyway, these guys aren't dressed up like women. They are powerful warriors, apparently, and there's 3 of them, and they're escorting 3 beautiful young princesses to get married in a faraway land in order to broker peace with the Mongols. Do I have to tell you what's going to happen next? These guys have a song about how lonely they are, how they went to war and how they came back, and they had nobody. They had nobody to fight for. There was no women waiting for them when they got home. One is super dorky and doesn't, really. His jokes are all bad, and he does really stupid stuff. The other guy is just humongous, and he eats all the time. And the other guy is just sort of a really short little ruffian always with a black eye, and he's very uncouth. And these 3 beautiful young women, guess what? they sort of see the charm in these boys. So there's a long trip. People get to know each other, and the whole time Mulan and Shang are overseeing them, and they're having a great time. And now they're engaged, they're bonding, and everything else. Well, Mushu doesn't like this because it's some sort of rule. Again, it's movie, whatever, storytelling. It's the Deus Ex Machina of the whole thing here. But if they get married, he loses his job, his power over the ancestors. So he's being very selfish. He doesn't think Mulan and Shang should get together. They should not get married, is his attitude. And so his job the entire time is to undermine everything they do together. He tries to sabotage the relationship, make him look bad to her and her look bad to him. And he's working behind the scenes the whole time to do this really selfish, sleazy thing to break them up, even though they just got engaged, so he can maintain his special power in the other world or whatever over ancient Chinese ghosts. I don't know. So yeah, Mushu becomes the bad guy, and she has other sidekicks, which includes a cricket. I don't remember the cricket from the first one. Maybe that's new, but the cricket is kind of the conscience. Disney does that. Crickets are conscience. Anyway, this cricket doesn't speak words, but it clicks a lot and kind of gets in Mushu's ear whenever Mushu is doing something pretty crappy. And so there's a bit of a conflict there. The cricket sort of tempers what Mushu does, but doesn't succeed very often. So, yeah, I've told you way too much, but how it all comes together in the end, how it's all put together, I mean, the characters, the songs, the characters are fun, the songs are okay, they're not great, they're not, the original Mulan type songs, okay? The animation, surprisingly not bad. Surprisingly, normally in the sequels you get dumpster level animation, and this one doesn't drop it. I mean, yes, it does not look like the original film, but it maintains its own style. It doesn't look roughshod or just dumped out there just to get it done. It doesn't look like that. It's actually, especially when they cut to some CGI shots, like of a crowd, like they pan over a crowd. It's actually really well done. It's as solid as any theatrical film. So kudos to those guys and gals who put that together. But yeah, beyond that, I can't really complain about the animation. It's at times it's somewhat Saturday morning cartoon level, but I think that's rare. It's rare. It's the detail on a lot of this stuff is not as deep as you would see for a theatrical film, but there are moments, and I'm not going to ruin the special scene that I'm thinking of right now, because there's moments that are just beautifully shot, beautifully composed, let's say, to evoke certain huge emotions toward the end of the film. So yeah, I think for me this was surprising. It was actually it engaged my interest. I liked the characters, and it told if good, but even though it was predictable. I mean, yeah, there was never going to be a huge surprise. There was a surprise actually at one point, which I will not spoil, but I'm thinking, how is that going to stick? How is that going to work? But yeah, it came around. It worked itself out. And yeah, there's just a lot going on in this, and I think it's actually out of all the sequels that I've seen, the Disney princess sequels, this is actually one of the better ones, if not the best one that I've seen so far. I don't know. I can't believe I'm actually saying I'm recommending it. I mean, we got a solid cast. The animation's good, and the story is good. I think honestly, if it was they had made a theatrical sequel to Mulan, and they say punched it up and did a bit more effects and sort of moved the story around a little bit, made some little changes, pacing, and some more action sequences, I think this could have been a really big major hit. It could have been. Yeah, there's definitely stuff to be tweaked, but I think there's a good underpinning of a good animated film and story in here. So I'm going to recommend it. Holy crap! Check it out, Mulan 2, if you haven't seen it before. Yeah, it's not going to blow your mind and it's not going to change your life, but it's better than pretty much any animated sequel so far that I've seen on Disney Plus, and that says a lot. So let's pick tomorrow's. Come on, there we go. 509. We're in the 500s. Not in the thes yet, but 509. Past it. Oh, we already saw 509. I think it was a Spider-Man Unlimited. Yep. All right, let's pick another one. 416. This might be one that we've already seen too. 416. Yep, we've seen 4. It was the new Pete's Dragon. Not the classic, but the 2016 version. All right, well, man, we're not having good luck today. Let's pick the next one. 198. I know we've had 199. I can't remember if we've had 198. I think we had 199. Oh, we've had both. Sorry. Yeah, 198, 999. What were they? Girl Meets World and Girl versus Monster. Man, we are not getting this. Stop. Undo typing. What is that? 749. I'm pretty sure we haven't had this. I could be wrong. But this is toward the end. 749. Come on. 749. All right, it is one of the documentary, live, unscripted series. It's called Wings of Life. So if it's a series, probably watch a few episodes. If it's just a single documentary movie or whatever it is, then we'll watch the whole dang thing. Until then, I'll see you back here tomorrow with Wings of Life on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. Bye-bye.